2 years ago, I set out to challenge myself to one of the richest and deepest city building experiences anyone can have. To build a thriving nation with realistic mode in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. It's a game mode that demands patience, attention to detail, and deep planning and understanding of how everything in your city will be and how you will fulfill their needs as we expand. 2 years, guys, crafting all that the eyes can see here. And beyond even. The camera doesn't render far enough to see it all. I had much more planned in my head. And just take a look at here. I had much more planned than this. This is a lot of stuff here. And it goes far beyond. Won't even render all the way out there. Huh? The other side of the mountain even too. Let's show that. Yep. There you go. Magnitograd. All of our manufacturing. Steel. Trains moving around. If you're new to this channel and you're like, what is this? This is the longest running series of my channel. It's the longest I've ever spent in a single game in a single series anyway. It's just great. I sometimes just sit back and watch it, you know? It happens. I had much more planned in my head, but I said that if the game's performance ever got slow enough that it lost the fun factor to continue, then that's what I'd call it quits. We have nearly 80,000 citizens residing in Charlybinsk, Cernikova, Zernovsky, Magnitograd, Warstock, and more. I've laid out nearly every major production chain, including assembly of our own vehicles, and a fully operational nuclear power. Right? Nuclear power over there. Making our own vehicles down there. With all the logistics firmly in place for it to run forever. There are still so many things I wanted to do with this save. And keeping true to the spirit of the game by building out more all by ourselves with our own workers and our own resources. I managed to do it. I got it. I got the title of the video in there. The title of the game. But I've reached that point, you guys. I've reached the point where it's time to end realism. And for the last 10 videos of this series, a playlist with now 190 videos. Like I said, the longest playlist on my channel. The last 10 videos will be played without realism on. We'll be toning down fires as well, so we can focus on utilizing the 200 million rubles and the thriving economy of our republic to swiftly build out most of what I envisioned for this republic. We won't necessarily have the workforce to manage it all. It likely won't be self-sustaining by the time that we're done, but each video from this point on will focus on a specific area or two to develop quickly without worrying again about establishing the infrastructure first in order to build it, okay? Before I do that, though, there's one more thing I need to do. Throughout this long series, the number one thing that was asked of me, more than any other question, was whether or not I would be sharing my save. Will I be sharing this republic with everyone so that anyone can boot it up and continue where I left off? Yes, of course, I will. And in fact, not only will I do it, I already have. In the description of this video right now, my save file is there, as well as a text document with a list of instructions on making sure that you install the few mods that I have as well, so nothing breaks. Today, in this video, we're going to take a look at the state of the nation now and see what isn't quite finished yet and what I was working on in the more immediate term, so that when you load up that save file, you'll have an idea of some of the things that you should probably look at first, some of the pending things, some of the problem areas that you may want to look at first when you boot it up yourself. And after that, we'll disable realism mode and begin the final videos to finish this series. So, without further ado, let's begin, huh? I'm going to start with the new farms over by Magnitograd. For the most part, these are done. The farms themselves do not have vehicles, so you're going to need to do something about that. And the distribution offices are not completed. They're going to need vehicles as well. Any pending infrastructure to fix those vehicles, something that you can figure out on your own. I had perused the idea of probably getting rid of this farm and putting in the repair stuff here. But, you know, if you guys have another idea, maybe you can tear out this road and wrap this road around this way instead. Maybe flip these fields around and have it be over here, and then you might have some repair facilities in here. It's a possibility you could do. But distribution will need to be established. The food factory area for the crops are going to go in here. As soon as this building is done, they're on their way to do it. They're working on it. There's still almost 300 tons of concrete that needs to be delivered here. But when they finish it, they got cranes and everything here. When they finish it, this will be done. And at that point, you're probably going to have to tell the train distribution office, which is located over here in Charlevin South. It's the same one I've been using since like the dawn of trains in my republic. Has been the same office right here. This one here is going to go. It's got all the logistics set up to deliver everything to it, to get rid of garbage. It's all set up and done, delivering fuel, etc. But it's probably not going to auto search this, so you'll have to add these tracks as a job once it's done. And then it will complete these tracks, and then you'll have the ability to send food on the rail down here. This is my plan. You can do whatever you want with this republic, and I'm actually interested in having you guys come onto my Discord and just be like, hey, Charlie, look what I did over here. Show me how you changed things. Show me what you ended up doing with my republic. It ends up making it yours, right? Put your staple on it somewhere. You have a lot of map to go. A lot of places that I did not build at all. In fact, this is an incredibly compact city compared to what most people do in workers and resources. So you have a lot of land to build on if you want to do that, provided your computer can handle it. Which is a big if, because mine can't anymore. All those crops were going to go eventually, they were going to go over here. And I'll be completing that in future videos without realistic mode. Yeah. Now, the other food factory that's pending, there's another food factory pending. It's over here. All the way over here was near Sonakova. This one is much more close. This one's much closer to being operational. This train track just needs to be completed. The bridge is almost done, it looks like, on this one anyway. So this bridge part here needs to be completed, and then this rail. Then the train can get into this station, and as soon as that happens, all you'll need to do is click a couple of buttons, and the people will finish this. And then these facilities are operational, and then provide workers to the factory. There's a bus stop here. There'll be some parking lots here too. And nobody lives here yet. So you can just add people here. All the infrastructure for their needs is all set up. Food, clothing, electronics is already going to be delivered here. I don't believe I got meat set up yet. That's over here. I was going to do that like I do it with the other ones, where there's a dedicated truck. Their route is just to go from here, fill up here, wait until unloaded, rinse and repeat. But you know, the initial supply of meat is not currently being delivered here, but it could be delivered from Cernakova. There's trucks over there that do that. They could come over here and do it too. It's up to you, however you want to play it. Zernovsky. Zernovsky pretty much runs fine. There's nothing really, there's no problems with Zernovsky. The main thing with Zernovsky is maintenance. There's a lot of individually small buildings, and sometimes maintenance kind of lapses on them, and they end up collapsing. And then, you know, the auto search for demolition will take care of the rubble, do what they do. Construction office comes in, rebuilds it, people move in. It kind of happens on its own a little bit. But right now, it doesn't seem like any of the buildings are super bad. So that's good. 44% on that one. 44% on that one too. Interesting. 48%. So they're getting there. Right. Vehicle maintenance over here is a little bit of an issue. There's a lot of little cars, right? This is our more American suburb car dependency city, right? It's the only place in the whole republic that's very kind of dependent on personal cars. And that was by design. I stuck with it. I said, you know what? I want to try it out and see how that goes. We have traffic signaling and stuff is set up to be pretty smooth. I don't have any traffic issues in Zernovsky anymore. So it's been refined and tweaked and everything. So you shouldn't have any real issues with traffic. Snow plows and stuff is another matter, but as we get close, to the darkness, you'll be able to see the cars moving a little bit better. Again, we're kind of more based on stoplights here. actual intersections and slip lanes, dedicated left turn lanes, the stuff that we would see, in modern suburb America. But overall, it runs. Is it the most efficient possible? No, it's Cernowski. It doesn't have to be. But otherwise, seems fine. Let's turn our attention over here. Actually, real quick, chemicals. This place gets buzzing now. Lots of chemicals, also produces pollution. This nation does have a bit of a pollution issue. If I look over the health issue here, you can see 9,219 people have pollution as something that they're complaining about. So there's a little bit of that going on. Also, there's some flickering lights. Didn't notice that before. Interesting. Might want to take a look at the flickering lights issue. Anyway, there is a little bit of a pollution issue. I'm not entirely sure how to solve that at the moment. Maybe you'll come up with something. Maybe it won't matter enough. I don't know. The palace. We are going to see this palace lit up, but it's going to be next video when we... I don't even know if it's going to be next video. I have to structure how I want to do the rest of them, but the palace is here. All you have to do to finish construction on this building is just click this button. It needs 700 work days. Everyone who lives in the area who doesn't have a job is going to walk themselves over to this building and finish it very quickly. The issue comes from the many people, I don't forget what it is, like 2,800 people that can live in here. Can this area handle that huge influx of people in this, I wasn't sure, so I didn't activate it. But when we turn realism off, it won't matter as much because if there's any problems, I can really quickly fix them. So that's a building that you can turn on or off if you want to. Up to you. But this wasn't going to get turned on anyway until I had gotten something to do with tourism. Tourism was always planned for Charlevoix North. It was always planned for over here by the water, this big lake area. I was going to have hotels, other types of amenities, culture buildings and stuff over on this side, maybe over on this side. I was going to make it kind of look like a little tiny Vegas sort of thing. Just never got to it because before doing this, I wanted to make sure we had a functional airport. Well, here's the airport, such as it is. All of the buildings are not queued to construct. I was waiting until all the roads were done. And now all the roads are done. So they can be queued. I'm going to leave them unqueued for you. You can choose to queue them up if you'd like to. The save file that I'm going to be saving for you is going to start January 1st, 2031. So I'm running this to January 1st, and then I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to save it. And you can begin My Republic and making it your republic if you'd like. You can begin at January 1st. That way you can see stats and stuff. Speaking of which, stats and stuff. Let's take a look. Population statistics and stuff. It's pretty good. Almost 77,000 people now. I've kind of corrected the population decline issues that were happening before. Crime is not a huge issue yet. Orphans are not an enormous issue yet. They're kind of under control now. So I'm not, releasing you with something that's on fire, okay? If something goes wrong and the orphan gang takes over your city, that's going to be your fault, not mine. Okay. But we got a lot of people here, a lot of good things here. Alcohol addiction's only at 7%. Religion sympathy basically nil. It's pretty good. Government loyalty is admittedly low. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that very few people have televisions and radios. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have a very hard time keeping up with electronics. Electronics production is a regret. I wish I could do more. I wish I could create more electronics. That's something I definitely want to be able to do. This setup looked good on paper to me, but it's plagued with one big weakness, and that's that it's entirely dependent on the train to make sure that there's a steady supply of plastics and fabric and chemicals. 3 resources, 2 of which are coming from the same place, but 1 is not. The biggest problem with this area, though, is that it's very dependent on these guys, the forklifts, and they just don't work as well as I was hoping they would. So when you're looking at all the forklifts zipping around, bringing things to people, you get this. A lot of waiting around. I don't know if it's that there's too many of them, but regardless, it doesn't work as well as I hoped it would. You're going to have to set up something of your own. I had planned initially to set up another steel area over here. There's another supply of iron and coal in this area. So this is a good area for another steel area if you want to. And maybe you could focus more on electronics if you want to speed that up. Or, again, just spend the enormous amount of money that we have, and you could just spend that and, buy a whole bunch of electronics. I considered doing that as well. But anyway, the airport's here. You can choose when to build the buildings if you'd like to. I was waiting until the metro was done and tunneled to it. Looks like not all the roads are done. This one right here is not done. There's a whole bunch of trucks here, kind of. I don't know what they're doing. They should be doing it. 55 tons of asphalt. There's asphalt in the trucks. Apply the asphalt. Maybe I'll reset these trucks. They might be bugged. I don't want to give you anything bugged. They've been here for a while, like a very long while. So I'm gonna get them out of here, and I'll have the office resend people. I was waiting to finish this until the metro tunnel was done. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at the metro tunnel now, and this one is a little bit challenging. Not challenging, just a little annoying. It's built in a solid way. I think the fundamentals of the way it's built and designed are solid. It's the problem is building it. The track builders need to be able to get in here, and you can see the track builders waiting, right? So he needs to be able to get in here. So if I tell him to ignore this red light, what happens is he's going to enter onto this intersection, and there's not really an issue with being in this intersection until it tries to turn around and go the opposite direction. The metro trains are only one way. For metro trains to interact here, it's not a big deal. But for the track builders, they have to start on the right-facing track, and then they have to go the opposite direction than it's designed for. And then that means they're going to interfere with other trains. So what you have to do is sort of keep an eye on, when you see a track builder in this area, you have to kind of keep an eye underground where the metro trains are coming from. And if the metro trains are approaching, you have to stop them. Because if they get to this track builder, it'll despawn the track builder. And then it's got to come all over again. So like this guy right here is coming. But I think that's not going to conflict. Yeah, so this guy's going to get out of the way soon enough, thankfully. He's going to get in there. But if he wasn't, if I didn't see this and tell him to go now, maybe I told him to go right now, or maybe I told him to go, maybe he was over here right now, right? The issue is now he's got to go back on this track. And you see where the issue is there? That would stop both of these trains. And by code, by default, track builders despawn when they're in the way. So it just takes a while to get this to actually work. But if you can get in there, then great. In this area, I had planned to build boats. Build our own boats. We never quite got to that. Part of the reason I never got to it is because there's just more interesting things for me to do and put resources into. But I have the logistics of stuff mostly established here, at least the vehicles for it. We need to establish some kind of logistics to provide resources for the repairs. So there's that. They also need vehicles here. This distribution office has trucks. It's just not being used. Whoops. I could probably move those trucks somewhere else. But resources for this can come in on trucks. Or, better yet, I was planning on producing resources over there in that other steel area that I was talking about, and then sending it over here. We have another way to send steel here with a boat, and that's this. So this boat has 122 tons of steel. Usually this boat fills up with steel and exports it to the border for more rubles. But I have it turned off I turn it off by simply switching this right here. So if you want to export steel, turn that to that direction. And if you do that, this will begin gaining more steel, right? And if you do this and turn it off like that, then it will stop gaining steel. And the boat will sit there until it's full. So you can determine, you know, how much steel you have. If you're really full on steel, like right now we're not, but eventually we will be full on steel. And that's what's great. When you stop building everything and you just let things sit and stop building, stop constructing new things, you fill up on steel. And that's where the export comes in handy. So that's why that's set up there like that. And again, this area here was supposed to be for food. We're going to set that up later. So yeah, there you go. Large shipping boats, right? They're coming and going with the bauxite oil trade. That's still going. It's basically the lifeblood of our economy. So you can see right here, it's January 1st. So here's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm giving it to you like this. Okay? I'm saving it as... It's already named S3 Realistic Stop. There you go. That's the save file that you're going to get. So everything else you see in this video is not going to be in your save that's in the description. Okay? And I'm going to do a new save here. I'm going to call it S3. Well, it's 191. This is real off, I guess. Okay, I did it. Oh, real quick look at this. So I took a look at population statistics, right? You can also take a look at economy and trade if you want to figure out sort of where your strengths are. If you like graphs and stuff, you can take a look through those things. I don't really look at those things very often, but you know, the numbers nerds, they like these types of things. So there you go. You can look at. We don't have any tourism, so feel free to set up tourism to your heart's content. We don't really have any. We're making good money. Made 29 million rubles last month. So that's neat. Lost a little bit on the dollars last month, but hey, we're up big for January. Foreign manpower, yeah. So you'll see foreign manpower is happening with the West. That happens because the helicopters have been very regularly going to the West and getting labor to bring them back. We've been using dollars for foreign labor that way. We're also using foreign labor for developing this area, which is, you know, it's there, it's pending. Feel free to make changes if you'd like. Nothing's really built out yet. A lot of the roads and stuff maybe have some progress on them now, but that's it. I haven't ordered any vehicles here yet. That's a mistake. I just overlooked that. Yes, you get to choose what vehicles you want. Cool. But yeah, foreign labor is being used over there too. There have been several instances in the past, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where I ran out of US dollars, right? It was like in the early days of the oil bauxite trade where we ran out of dollars and the boats were just sitting behind the border eating all the dollars as soon as they came in to buy additional, you know, resources and stuff. And so I couldn't hire workers with the helicopters. So I switched the helicopters to take them from the Soviet border instead. So there were several instances in the past where we have used foreign labor that way too. If you take a look at just look at all. There it is. We've made a total of 212 million plus rubles here. It's pretty great. 212 million we have as a profit here. Very, very nice. And these things are all calculated as you go. They're kind of fluctuating, so it's not an exact calculation as it's running, but important trade right here. Yeah, not an exact calculation, but pretty much very, very close. What else? I had something else I wanted to show you. Oh, this side of Magnitograd, it has pollution issues. If you take a look at the waste, it's gone now. It's been taken care of now, thankfully. Is that because it's built? It is built. Okay. So I wasn't sure if this was going to complete before I saved it for you. for January 1st, but it is built here. These are currently just generic garbages. If you want them to be specialized, you know, set it how you want it. But I just built this one because these buildings were overflowing. It's causing health issues with the kids. We have another one going in right here. That's going to help as well. And then I thought about building another one back here too, so I'm doing that too. Just to provide a little bit of relief for garbage. Possibly additional garbage trucks may be needed in this area too. I don't know. Speaking of garbage, let's head over across the river. This area here is the area where I was building out our new garbage facilities. And of course the rail needs to be done too. They're currently working on it, question mark. It needs time to develop out, to have the rail out here. But we can still use the facilities with buses because the highway is done. So if these buildings start to get built, like right here, there's a general separation is already constructed. And all of these have been told to build. None of them are stalled. And the helicopter construction office has been told to work on these. So I want to get these things up as soon as possible, basically. I do not currently have any setup for buses to transport people from here into there or here to there. Feel free to do that if you need more workers in that area, especially when it gets up and running. Might be nice. You can then also switch the destinations for the technical service offices so that they don't drop garbage here, but instead drop it over there if you'd like to do that. So that's an option as well. But anyway, that side of Magnitograd had some trash issues. It doesn't have any trash issues anymore. Nuclear. Nuclear is great. Nuclear is very stable. I don't think you're going to have to do anything here. It kind of just takes care of itself. It's very stable, very reliable. Workers are constantly in here in excess of what you need to power your republic. If you want to produce more goods, like for the train and stuff to export the nuclear, you can up the number of workers in these buildings. I currently have one of them capped at 30 because I don't think there's enough workers coming here. But if you end up finding a way to source more workers here, then cool. Feel free to raise those limits. These ones here are capped out too. And then just as a reminder, the uranium oxide, it comes in from over here where Checkpoint Char is located. Remember Checkpoint Char? So this is the uranium mine. It's down in here. It's between Checkpoint Char and the chemical area and Zernovsky, right? Uranium area is here. And these two processing plants pull it out of here, process it into this train. This train just waits until loaded and then heads over and drops it off in this storage. And then it goes back and does it again. So steady supply of uranium oxide always coming in. These two buildings, I'm mostly making this video so you understand how everything works, at least the critical stuff, and then you can explore things yourself if you'd like to. These two buildings here produce what you need here. It is sucked out of there, immediately taken by this truck and pushed into here. So there's a truck in here that's just moving it from here to here. And that's all it does. And it just sits there, 0 miles on it, doing that over and over and over again. And since it's not moving anywhere, it's not going to break down. Even if it does break down, it's temporary, and then it gets back to work and doing it. Okay. So you don't have to maintain that truck either. And so all the UF6 ends up here. And then these, of course, process it into nuclear fuel. Now, the UF6, right? This stuff, if this gets overloaded, if it gets full, I shipped it out with this train. And this train is sort of just stopped right now. You can always, of course, look at the route. But this train is responsible for basically taking the UF6 from there and bringing it over here to load onto this boat. This is the boat that I've been taking to the border to sell all the cars that we're manufacturing in our vehicle assembly plant here, right? All the cars, they go out there, and that's made me a lot of money. But now it's kind of doing the UF6 instead. And to be honest, I could probably hit this button and just get the extra 7. It's like 16.6 million rubles worth. I could probably just tell it to go from where it is now. But there's no point. Like, I have enough money. It doesn't matter. Let it sit there for a while, right? As far as the cars, where they're shipping to, currently they're shipping all the way over here. So this is our other gravel plant, a rail construction office. There's rail distribution over here too. It doesn't have a whole lot to do yet. I had lots of plans for things for it to do, but it doesn't have to do anything yet. When we build out the bauxite stuff, which is where this was supposed to be, with this train track, right? That area was going to be serviced by this rail distribution office as well, to move things around, to create aluminum. And then that aluminum was going to be taken over and going to be delivered here. Technically, it was going to be delivered here into this area with all the storage is in here, but then trucked over here to use to make airplanes. And then all of this is connected and everything is disestablished to make airplanes. You just have to have the logistics set up to bring all the supplies there. It's not connected to the rail directly. It's connected over here for storages and warehouses and such. You drop off the supplies here, and then trucks can take it from there and drive it over here. That's how it's laid out anyway. And then over here, we don't really have much of our heating problems as long as this heating plant stays operational, and it tends to without much issue. We have this area here. This is supposed to be to create our own chemicals in this area. I never got it running yet. It's very close. It's actually just kind of sitting here waiting for me to do something, right? So we have the wood. That's sourced here. The gravel is now brought here via train. This is the train distribution network, actually. This is the only thing it's doing right now, is taking... It comes out of this office. It takes the gravel from here, and then it drops it off over here. And then we just need trucks to bring that gravel over here. That's it. That's all it's doing. And then, so the only thing left here is to provide oil, which it should have it here. So, I mean, really, and the water's already hooked up too. Honestly, this is ready to go. Just deliver workers here and you're good. It's pretty much ready to go. There's farms over here, of course, and then we have this farm area here. This needs vehicles. It doesn't have a whole lot of fields to attend, but, you know, you just provide some vehicles here. You'll have some extra crops. You can use those crops to produce clothing, fabric, etc. There's a fabric factory here. It was always designed to work at half capacity. So if you want it to work at full, I guess, but you don't have enough clothing factories to actually use all of it. So I guess you could ship fabric out, or you can move fabric from here. Extra fabric, you can move that from here and ship it around your republic somewhere else if you want to. But all of that's set up to work just out of the box with this warehouse, train station. It's all hooked up to the rail system. Most of the rail, that's important anyway. Most of the critical, important rail is electric, but there's still quite a lot of rail that is not electric. For example, all of this in here by Cernikova, in this waste processing facility that we got here, that works like 80% as effective as I'd like. All of this area here is not electric rail, so not yet. Now, it's important to note, if you don't do this to your game, just letting you know in this video, I'm assuming that everyone who's going to use my save file, I'm assuming you're watching this entire video, because it's a tour so that you know how to work your way, if you're planning on playing it anyway. If you're just loading it up to look at it, then cool. Hope you had fun. But if you're planning on playing it and expanding on it yourself, I'm giving you vital information so you don't screw everything up. So you don't have a bad time. If you don't do this to your game, you're going to have a bad time. I have edited the cableway. You may recall that when we started this and we built this initially, the cableway had a different balance. It moved things faster. So I didn't need anything more than I've already set up. It's moving things a lot slower now. After updates to the game, it's moving things slower now. So I have edited the garbage car. I've edited these cable cars to have a 10-ton capacity for each one of them. That offsets the speed difference that these have had. Now, I don't know whether that speed difference is still there. They actually seem to be moving faster than I remember them moving now, so it's possible you'll have an okay time. It's possible that maybe they're not super slow anymore. I don't know. I don't know why it was that way before, but it was. So I edited these to be 10 tons. See how it is in your game? And you can tell if it's fast enough by this. This is a buffer, okay? You look at this, and if these are filling up, then one of two things is happening. Either this is not fast enough, or you have a problem over here with your power plant, with your incinerator power plant. If you have a problem over here, like you don't have any workers or anything like that, then, then this is full. And if this is full, then this can't drop it off. If you can't drop it off, the waste is on its way back. And so what ends up happening is all the cable cars are full of waste already, so you can't pull it out of here. And so this will start filling up. That whole sequence, it takes a long time to happen. So you have a buffer. You have time to see whether this is a problem or not. There's lots of different indicators you can use, lots of different things you can click. Really, all you have to do is go to one of the cars that's on its way back. And if you click this and it has waste in it, then you might have a problem. That's it, So, yeah. I have mine edited to 10 tons to fix that issue, which, again, the game kind of seemed to change on me after I already built everything. And since it's realistic, it would take a lot of labor to refix that. And I felt that was more of like a change to reality as opposed to like, my fault, right? I set things up according to a set of rules that the game had established in reality, and then the reality was altered on me, right? And so as a response to that, I changed that one little trait. I just made these things be able to hold more, and that rebalanced it for my build. So just keep a look at that. If you're gonna run this yourself, keep a look at that, and see if it causes any issues for you. Yeah. But otherwise, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to share about what's going on in the Republic right now. And you can see some things are pretty obvious. You could see like this was clearly going to be a port. Several different harbors actually was what the idea was, but none of it really matters until the steel area. This new steel area is going to be established. None of that matters until the bauxite and aluminum production is going, And then all of these things combine to have boats here. And then those boats send it down the river. And then we make more boats from those supplies, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's built here that had sort of a long-term outlook in mind when it was built. And so it doesn't have a purpose today. It was supposed to have a purpose in the future, and it kind of accidentally built. Like, this wasn't supposed to be built yet. It just sort of did because I forgot to shut it off. I forgot to shut off the construction. So, like, that's the only reason this stuff is built. And then once it started to build, I said, well, maybe we can get it running early. So I bought some trucks, and, well, the rest is history, I suppose. As far as heating for all these guys, I'm starting you off in winter so you can see that the heating is stable, but I'm starting you off in winter specifically for that reason. But it also gives you instant access to information regarding how things are working. So, for example, this not working super well, right? It's getting really. This is when it gets really cold though, like -16. It gets really cold on these guys. So there's a weakness in heat, and I haven't really figured out how to solve it. I don't remember there being much of a weakness over here though. So this is new. This is new information to me. That heating plant's going full blast. That's new information to me. So you may need to do something with heat. It's a very small part of the year because most of the time these guys are completely fine. It's just in January it gets to be like -16. It gets really cold, and then they have a problem. But as the temperature rises to like -8, -10, you can see it starts to get a bit more comfortable for these guys, right? So it's not a huge issue, but it's definitely something to look at. There's definitely a weakness in heat somewhere, and maybe you can solve it. I don't know. So that's the tour of 2 years in the making, my Republic. It's been a wild ride in realistic mode, but now I'm going to my settings. I'm going to my game settings. You might remember an episode, maybe 2 videos ago, we changed this so that we had access to the Western vehicles. And then global events, this was introduced after I started the series. So this one defaulted to normal. I don't know what it is today. Maybe serious is the new realistic mode setting. I don't know. This didn't exist when I started, so I just left it alone. But building fires is the thing that I'm going to bring down to normal because it's annoying. And then we're shutting it off. So realistic mode, no longer on. And to prove it, I'm going to go and build something. This is going to feel really good. What's it going to be? What's the first thing I'm going to build? You know what? It's going to be this. This is going to feel good. Where is it? Where is it? Damn bridge. Yeah. Damn bridge. Yeah. Bridge. Yeah. That feels great. Oh, isn't that so good? Look at this. Oh, let's bask in the glory of an instantly completed rail. Yes. Oh my gosh. The last thing I'm going to do here, the last thing I'll say here is I've been asked whether or not I'm going to play again, whether or not we're going to start with the new early start run. I think a lot of you would like me to, and I appreciate that. Feel free to pressure me some more in the comments of this video and others if you want. But I am going to take a little bit of a break from workers and resources. I've got other things going on the channel that are really hopping right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with those things. I'm definitely not ruling out the possibility of starting again in 1930. Definitely. Just not right away. I will say maybe give it a couple months or something. I don't know. We'll see. The only thing I will say though is a lot of you guys have said don't start with realism because it's, you know, it takes too long. It's too slow. The thing is, that's where the challenge is for me. That's where the fun factor is for me. Like I want to start with realism because that's the game for me. After playing this, after experiencing this with realism, like that's the game for me now, man. And so not starting with realism just doesn't feel like I can do that on my end. Now, that said, I may opt to turn realism off sooner if I was going to do it next time. I may opt to turn it off sooner. Like once we've established ourselves and everything is set up and it's like, okay, you've got a thriving economy, you're very unlikely to lose now. Right, maybe that's when we shut it off and we start using that economy and building out faster. I don't know. I open myself up to your ideas and criticisms and praise and all the things. But I'm going to end this video in the same way that we started the whole series. And that's by looking at this troll head. You tried your best, troll. But in the end, I beat you. And I think I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud of how well we've done so far, how far we've gone so far. So in the following videos, not 192 all the way to 200, we're going to spend our wealth on building out this republic much faster than we have before, getting things torn down and rebuilt in a lot of different ways to improve it, ways maybe fixing things that I've been like, man, I wish I could fix that. Now I can do it very quickly because it's instant and ta-da, magical. I can fix it with magic. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you do decide to boot this save up and play it, please make sure you read the text document and feel free to come into our Discord server and share your experiences in it as well as anything that you may have added to the Republic. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.